Live from Exile Brewing and the Swarm Beer launch. It is Trent Condon here, Locked On Podcast. We got a lot going on here today as we break things down, a new venture in the world, and we got the owner of Exile joining us here, RJ, coming up today on Locked On Hawkeyes Podcast.
Our Locked On Hawkeyes, your daily podcast on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome in. I'm Trent Condon, and this is the Locked On Hawkeyes podcast. Thanks for making Locked On Hawkeyes your first listen every day. Available wherever you get podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, and make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're there. Joined here today by RJ Tursi, the owner of Exile. And RJ, it's been a while. We've done a few things in the past.
Yes.
Remember the 25th anniversary with the 25-cent Ruthies?
Yes.
That we had? Well, what, 5 years back now? Is that what it is? Maybe a little bit longer?
God, it was pre-pandemic.
It was, yes.
Pre-pandemic, yep.
And that was with the Menace in their 25th season.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now here we are talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Swarm Beer. So
yes,
I got to be honest. So from the forefront, I am one of the guys that I'm sure you hear about. I only drink a light beer.
Sure.
When I go to a lot of places, I get a little nervous. Go to a brewery. Oh, boy, here we go. They're going to try to put an IPA down my throat. It's going to be gross to me. I'm not going to like it. I drink sours, and honestly, your sour is my favorite. And it's always in my fridge every single summer that is in there, and I know what I'm doing on my way out today is grabbing a 12-pack of that. But
appreciate that.
I'm one of those people.
Sure.
When the idea came to you guys from the Swarm Collective, and
yep.
Talk about the idea of what kind of beer from the forefront, because I'm drinking it and I'm sucking them down like they're water.
Yeah.
They're absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
I love them as a domestic beer drinker. I think you guys hit it out of the park.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, we knew. So we really cut our teeth as a brewery making lagers, making light beers, making easy drinking, very palatable, well-balanced beers, right? And so when this opportunity came along, we knew that was the style of beer that we needed to bring to the table for it, but even lighter, honestly, than like Ruthie or Tursi Pills or Zoltan or any of those beers. We knew that it just needed to have a little bit of hop flavor to balance things out, keep it light, make it a beer that people can tailgate with all day long, and that's what we achieved. That's what we got.
So I took my first sip on the air on radio today on KXNO.
Okay, great.
And I was on with the afternoon show, and it was that same thing. And my first thought was, had season tickets since I was in high school.
Yes.
Done a lot of tailgating in my time.
Yeah.
Been to every Big Ten campus. I like to, and this is going to be in the cooler every single time, because before a game, I like to be well lubricated. And I'm not going to have one. I don't want to have.
We support that.
I'll have a good half dozen of these before I make my way into Kinnick Stadium, because A, they're delicious. B, they're easy drinking, and I can do that and put a bratwurst in my belly too.
That's
be good to go. And it's, again, I know there was a lot of people that had the same concern. You hear about, all right, they're going to make something that is not going to hit the general population. This did it. And the other part that I've heard from a lot of people that consider themselves beer connoisseurs, they like it too.
Yeah.
That's a difficult balance to hit kind of both communities, if you will.
Right. And that has kind of always been one of the challenges that we've tried to take on, honestly, since our inception, is like, hey, what's a beer that the craft beer nerd, if you will, can get behind, and also a beer that's going to have mass appeal. And like our beer Ruthie, that's what we've always tried to do with that beer. That's our most popular beer. And
that's the one I always get.
Yeah, so there you go. And we wanted to do the same thing with this beer, but we didn't want it to be the same beer as Ruthie. It's very different than Ruthie. And yeah, this is one that it's not going to fill you up. You are going to be able to have several of them before you go to the game and still behave yourself.
Right.
Behave the way that you should.
Be loud in the stadium, but not overbearing.
Exactly. And so, it's going to be the right beer for the occasion.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So an interesting thing, again, being kind of the very much a layman in terms of the beer community because I'm just a guy that finds whatever light beer is cheap. Grab a couple sours when I'm out and about. That's about it.
Sure.
And talking to one of the people in your guys' community with Nick yesterday.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how difficult it is to make
That's
this
right.
type of beer.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I was shocked by. Again,
Yeah.
not knowing beer, I figured a light beer, something that is easy drinking, would be the easiest thing. That's not the case. So explain that to the listeners.
Yeah. So when you make a beer that is high in alcohol, hopped up, or like big intense forward flavors, roasty flavors, whatever it is, those flavors, those big intense flavors can cover up flaws, right? They can cover up flaws, and beer, off flavors want to get into your beer. DMS, acetaldehyde, diacetyl. There's all sorts of different off flavors that want to creep into your beer, and so to make a light beer that is, absent of any of those off flavors and just like a beautiful expression of the ingredients that you use to make it, you have to have great process. You have to be buttoned up on your process, buttoned up on your sanitation, buttoned up on your packaging. So it really is, you can ask maybe not any brewer, but you can ask most brewers, hey, what is the most challenging style of beer to make, or what is the type of beer that really showcases the abilities of that brewery, and they'll tell you, oh, it's a Pilsner or it's a light beer or something in that wheelhouse there. So yeah, it's true.
It just not the way that my mind, but then when you break it down that way, it makes a lot of sense because it is lighter. And any imperfection, I'm going to be able to taste it.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of light beers out there for many years that aren't good.
Right.
And so people might make that association, right? They're like, oh, no big deal to make light beers. But to make a great light beer, it is challenging. It's very challenging.
So how this came into being, I know you have a lot of Hawkeye grads that work for you guys here at Exile, a lot of people inside your community that went to the University of Iowa.
For sure.
And talking to a number of them here today, I could tell their excitement level.
Oh, we are so stoked.
It was
so excited.
It feels like the perfect marriage. So take us in how this kind of all came into being.
Yeah. So we started hearing rumblings on Hawkeye message boards.
Brad loves his message boards.
Yeah. Well, it's effective.
It does.
I mean, here we are. So we started hearing rumblings on message boards that the Swarm Collective wanted to make this happen, make a beer happen. And so the message got to me, and it was actually our director of operations who reached out. A friend of his told him, hey, they're looking to do this, ran it up the flagpole. Absolutely, we want to be a part of this. And so we got into contact with them and basically just put together a package of like, this is who we are. These are our capabilities. This is the style of beer that we want to make. This is our sales team. These are some of our marketing assets, and just showed them what they would be getting if they partnered with us. And here we are.
Then the decision, what kind of beer to make.
Yes.
And coming to that, how long did the process take? I mean, putting together what you're going to do and then ultimately getting those first tastes.
Yeah.
How long does something like that?
So usually it takes a very long time, but it was a little serendipitous with this one because we had another beer on tap at the time that we were really enjoying and thought was a great beer. And so when these guys came down, when the Swarm folks came down to hear our pitch, if you will, we sampled them out on that beer and said, hey, this is what we want it to be like, but we want to tone it down. We want to tone it down a little bit and say, okay, hey, give it a shot, see how you do. Joey Hansen, our head brewer, is a massive Hawkeye fan, and so he put everything. I mean, we were giving him the pressure was on Joey for sure. Made the pilot batch, first taste. We were very happy with it. We believed in the beer, and so we brought the beer to the Swarm folks, had them try it, and we were all on the same page. Hey, this is it. So and then you combine that with the great marketing effort that that our director of sales and marketing and our head of marketing put out, and we just feel like we have a package ready to go that Hawkeye fans are really going to enjoy.
No doubt about it. It is available here right now at Exile. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about RJ, where you can get it across the state and across the country eventually. We'll get into that and a little bit more as we talk here from the kickoff event for the Swarm Beer at Exile Brewing here on Locked On Hawkeyes. Today's episode of the Locked On Hawkeyes podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Well, the NBA Finals are here, and it's time to make a fast break to FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. That's $2,500 in bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Coming up, got Game 2. Do you see a bounce back from the Heat? Bam was great in Game 1. Hit that over prop that I gave to you guys earlier in the week. We'll try to come back with you tomorrow with another one and find what we like on the betting side. But that's what you love about FanDuel. So many prop options, not just the game. You can get into it with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and get your no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Trent Condon back with you here at Exile Brewing in downtown Des Moines as we get ready for a big weekend in front of us. Iowa baseball getting ready for first pitch against North Carolina. In fact, I think we're just moments away from that one as the Hawkeyes will be doing battle against the Tar Heels in the NCAA tournament. And we're enjoying our Swarm beer. So RJ Tursi, the owner here of Exile Brewing, the question's already out there. I know you guys are getting it a ton. Stop into my favorite watering holes. Going to have Swarm beer on tap.
Right.
You're going to get it in cans.
Right.
Now, here in Des Moines, it's pretty simple. I mean, anybody that wants it, for the most part, is going to be able to get it.
Sure.
But we have a ton of listeners and a ton of viewers on the east side of the state. Let's go right there. Let's go to the Apex. Let's go to Iowa City.
Sure.
The efforts over there, I was talking to one of your marketing people over on that side and one of your sales guys over there and said it's kind of fish in a barrel right now. Everybody wants to get it. So for people that are going to be looking, first of all, when do you anticipate your favorite bar is going to have it on tap here across the state?
Right. So we are ahead of schedule right now, which we're excited about. We brewed our first. So what we're drinking right now, this is our pilot batch, actually. Okay. So this was Joey's first attempt at the beer, and like I said, he did a great job with it. So we're really happy with how it turned out. We brewed our first big batch of it last week. This upcoming week, next week, we'll start kegging it off.
Okay.
Most of that is going to be going to Eastern Iowa. Gotcha. So we are hoping that it will start becoming available at watering holes in Eastern Iowa next Friday.
Okay.
Next Friday.
So we're a week away from.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it. We're a week away from this thing getting on draft at a lot of places in Eastern Iowa, and then we'll just continue rolling it out on draft. After that, we are hoping for mid to late July for the 12-pack launch, for the 12-ounce 12-pack launch. That'll be, that's going to be the big one that can go in all the grocery stores and all that stuff. And then somewhere in between there, we'll start releasing 4-pack 16-ounce cans.
Oh, okay.
That probably won't be as widely available as the 12-packs end up being, but it'll have its place, and who knows, maybe it actually will be as widely available because that'll be a smaller package that people can pick up.
And a lot of people maybe want to try it for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't want to dive in on the 12-pack, they can either get on draft somewhere, that carries it, or they can grab a 4-pack of it at a grocery store.
So we mentioned statewide, going to be available pretty quickly on draft, and we're 6 weeks away maybe from seeing it. Go into your local, go into the grocery store and being able to pick it up.
Yep.
How about convenience stores? How does that work? This business is completely foreign to me.
Yeah.
And then you'll see, some breweries, some craft places that, why is this in Casey's, but why is this not? Why is this in HyVee? Why is this not? How does this, as simple as you can, how does this all work?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into that.
Sure.
Right. Your reach, your price point, your distribution, the velocity of the beer, meaning like how often are people buying it. So those things, those generally you have 2 different opportunities throughout the year to sell into those chains.
Okay.
Call them resets. And so We may have missed the spring reset, but we're certainly hoping to get in there for the fall reset. And who knows, with a special product like this, we might be able to get in there, in between that. But
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see.
No,
So,
nothing for sure.
I can't make any promises about that.
Would you anticipate, though, like a HyVee, that when we get to that middle of July time, that'll be one of the first places that
those guys are on it.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys are on it.
So that'll be a pretty easy one.
They have independent store directors, independent, wine and spirits directors that as soon as
I know the guy up in Urbandale,
bringing it in.
Jim the Liquor King, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Self-proclaimed Liquor King.
Hey, that's it. I love that.
He comes out North from Andy on the radio shows on KXNO.
Jim the Liquor King.
Yes. Yeah. And so those kind of places make sense. How about the displays? That was something I was talking to one of your salespeople about that. I'm simple.
Sure.
I see a display, catches your eye.
Displays sell beer.
This, anywhere in the state. There's Hawkeye fans everywhere.
Absolutely.
How does that work? And do you have to pay extra for a display? You have to wink at the manager the right way? How does that work?
You don't pay for those. That's illegal.
Okay.
That's illegal.
So,
you don't do that.
This is all news to me.
No, you don't do that. I mean, honestly, it's they will. Those managers will make their decisions based on what they think they can sell.
Sure.
Right. So I think Hawkeye fans are going to be buying the hell out of this beer because they know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would anticipate big displays all across the state. And, and maybe at some point the Iowa State folks will have theirs ready to go. So I envision Hawkeyes, Iowa State, especially during, the early part of the season when they're playing, those displays butted up against big displays like that in central Iowa. I think it's cool. It's a whole new landscape for beer.
Are you breaking some news here? Are you guys working with the?
We are not.
Okay.
We are not.
All right.
No, we, as the business person in me is like, hey, yeah, we want both of those things. But the Hawkeye fan in me says that would be wrong.
All right.
And so we're not going to be doing it, but there is, some brewery is going to get lucky, and they're going to do a great job with Iowa State for sure.
It makes a lot of sense. So the financial aspect, I believe I saw a quote from you maybe last week. That said, if this sells at the level of Ruthie, we're not talking. This isn't going to be a few $1,000s.
No.
This is monster money coming into the collective if we hit those kind of levels, which that financial part. I mean, you guys are leaving money on the table, but it's coming back to the athletes. It's coming back to the guys that we're cheering for and the ladies that we're cheering for and watching that. The NIL part of it, it's a collective, and it's going back to the student athlete. Just how you came up and thought the idea, we could maybe take a little more profit if we wanted, but that's not the way we're going to do it here at Exile.
Right. Well, it was a negotiation.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a negotiation, and we ended up agreeing to the 20%. So what it is it's 20% of the revenue that we get from this beer is going to go back to the Swarm Collective, and it's challenging. We're going to have to be efficient, with our operations because it's tough to absorb something like that. But we thought it was an opportunity that was too good to pass up. And we're honestly stoked that the money is going to the athletes. I mean, the athletes lay it out there.
Yeah.
They put it all on the line during their games. So it's crazy that it took this long for those athletes to be able to, make money off of their name, image, and likeness. And honestly, it is a dream come true that we are able to be involved with that, with beer and with the Hawkeyes. It is awesome.
It absolutely is. Final thing for you, RJ, and it's the can.
Okay.
So when that image first came out, my jaw hit the floor. I mean, that thing is striking. An absolute beauty.
Yeah, it's striking.
Who was it?
It was internal. We obviously got the logo from Swarm.
Yep.
But then it was Nick, our head of sales and marketing, that was like, hey, this is what it should look like. And then Aaron, our head of marketing, put it all together. And, we tweaked it. Hey, change this. And, I mean, they crushed it. It was all internal. We had to get it done fast.
Yeah,
we had to get it done fast. So
another thing that was just
we presented that image to them.
Yeah.
We presented that image to them as part of our pitch.
Give it the thumbs up and away you go.
Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
This whole thing is appreciate your time, RJ.
Yeah.
And, of course, you do have Swarm Beer here on tap.
Yep.
Coming soon to Eastern Iowa, and it'll be around Central
all across
Iowa.
The state.
Getting there all the way across, and that's going to be great.
Yep.
Cans mid-July, kind of looking at that. Maybe late July.
Yep.
Is where we're looking at for getting the cans, and away we go. Well,
that's
appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
A little more about Exile before you get out of here.
Okay.
You do have more than just Swarm Beer.
Of course.
I told you, Nick Sauer's my favorite.
Yeah.
Ruthie is well-renowned, not just here in Central Iowa, but across the state, across the nation. People know about that.
Yep.
But the thing I always tell when people come to town, go to Exile, get a beer, but you guys got great food here.
Thank you. Yeah. So I grew up in the restaurant business. My dad, he ran Tursi's Latin King.
People probably know the name, right?
Yeah. Tursi's Latin. So we're a restaurant family. Tursi's Latin King was shepherded by him for 40 years. We opened up down here 11 years ago. And
has it been that long, man?
It's been 11 years.
I think we're getting old, RJ.
Oh my God. Look at the gray hair in my beard. Yeah.
That's why I wear the hat.
Yep. So, we're a restaurant family, independent, family owned and operated. And, we just appreciate all the support we get from our fans across the state.
It's great. Great place to stop out, and a beautiful patio right here for the summer months. And, of course, all throughout the year inside here as we're hanging out. Thanks for your time today, RJ.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
RJ Tursi joining us here on the Locked On Hawkeyes podcast. Thanks, as always, for making Locked On Hawkeyes your first listen every day as we come to you from the Swarm kickoff event. Swarm Beer now available, and as we heard, coming soon across the state. That'll do it for today. We'll jump back with you tomorrow. We'll get a recap of Iowa, North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. We got to get ready to watch this thing. We'll do that coming up here. Thanks for making Locked On Hawkeyes your first listen every day. Talk to you again tomorrow. Go Hawks.